Hey everybody on YouTube, it's Bruce Petrov with Home Maintenance Solution and Ask Handyman Bruce. Today I'm going to show you a teardown video. I don't usually do these, but I think this might be useful for somebody who's looking for help on this area. So stay tuned, we'll be right with it. Alright, so today I'm going to do a teardown on a VillaWare waffle maker. So I've already got it kind of apart, so just kind of ignore that. But you guys have probably seen these if you're out searching for it. You probably know they're one of the best waffle makers around. Williams-Sonoma sold these in several different formats for a lot of years. So we had this one that kind of died. Look, the coating's peeling off of it, and that was really the main thing, actually. So we bought a new one off eBay, and it had a missing little green tab like that, so I harvested that one, see it over on the bench. But I also thought I'd tear this thing down and show you guys how it works. So if you're wondering, this is how I got these out. You just kind of get under it with a knife, and oops, sorry, it's a little hard to do with one hand, but there we go. So they just pop out. They have these little prongs here that hold them in, and they just snap in. So that's how that works. But I also want to tear it down a little further and show you. So this is the control here for the heat thermostat. So usually we just run it all the way over here, but if you wanted a little lighter waffle, you would run it there. So I'll show you how that works. Take it apart, flip it over and take it apart here. So okay, so there's 4 screws on the bottom, and all the waffle makers that have the different shapes are all laid out the same way. So you take this case off first, and then this was on there with a little screw. So that simply turns this. So when I first took it apart, I thought this was the electronics part of it that I could just pull out and save in case I had a malfunction, but not the case. So basically, you take this off. Now, what you do is you take out the screws, 4 screws holding the waffle plate on, and then you can access this like this right here. Okay, so you can flip it over and open it up. So now what we see is that this is simply just a switch. It's a bimetal thermostat switch, and if you can see that, but it's got a connection on each side, and I pulled these off with a screwdriver first, so they're going to come off a little easier now, but I didn't want to sit there and... Okay, so now I got both sides disconnected, both of those there. So now what I'm able to do is take out the screw, which again I already loosened, so don't feel like you can do this by hand necessarily. Try to get a view at that. There we go. Okay. So now what we have is one of the parts that can fail rather easily, and that's this thermostat switch piece. So that's what it looks like. It's got the bimetal thermostat there, and then if you're looking at it from this way and you rotate this knob with that lever that we saw before, it was out here, then that applies a little more pressure to the bimetal thermostat, which causes it to run longer before it kicks off, basically. So so that's how that works. A little more detail here. As you can see, the heating elements actually fit inside the actual waffle iron piece. A lot of waffle makers have them back here in the actual housing, and then it just heats the iron, but this actually fits into the iron. So you know, the chances of, I guess I could say that if I had the exact same shape, but we actually have a different shape, a little bit bigger one, so I'm not going to say that on this one, but you can see how that works. And the power comes in back here, feeds up through, runs through the switch there, which is broken by those 2 terminals, and it heats until it tells it to shut off. So essentially a pretty simple system. I'm not going to take the top apart, but I think it's the same thing there. So all right, there's the VillaWare waffle maker and the parts inside of it.